Good morning and welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. So this is our first morning here. We set up yesterday. We arrived when it was almost 40 degrees Celsius, according to the Humidex. And this morning I'm out here before 7 and it's 29 degrees Celsius. So it is pretty warm, very humid, and we know that that's the heat wave that we're going through this week. But I'll tell you, birds, other animals still need to eat. So they're still carrying on with their activity, and I'm out here to capture whatever footage I can, including some really interesting dragonfly footage. Not only are great blue herons, but great egrets are very common here. So I find it all very exciting. I was kind of hoping that by being out here a little bit before the sun rose, that I might be able to see a night heron. So far I haven't been lucky, but I'm going to bring you along and just show you whatever beautiful sights there are this morning. So I've been standing out on this footbridge for quite some time now, probably a good half hour, maybe 40 minutes. And there's so much bird activity that takes place. It's very easy to be able to see 4 or 5 great blue herons, maybe 4 great egrets, all within the same area. And they just have sort of a respectful distance from one another. And the cormorants, I'm realizing, are a force to be reckoned with, because the cormorants are thieves. I suppose all animals are capable of that, but where I had a chance to see an interaction that took place between a double-crested cormorant and a great blue heron, where the great blue heron was struggling to consume a large fish. So the cormorant came in to take up the opportunity and see if it could get a free meal. So anyway, there's all kinds of beautiful bird activity taking place, and you can see that it's something they need to do. They need to eat, throughout the day. And if you're into fishing, take it from the birds. They've been out here since dawn. So I just finished going on that hike that cuts through the woods, that borders along that creek, and it brings you out to Lake Erie. So I wanted to have a chance to have a look at Lake Erie, but my priority this morning was I wanted to get some early morning bird activity that was taking place from that boardwalk. So this is Lake Erie. It's nice and quiet. It's nice and calm right now. And I just did a time check at 9 a.m. and the humidex is sitting at 32 degrees Celsius. So I skipped having my coffee and a few things like that this morning because I wanted to get out here knowing it was going to be approaching 40 degrees. So I thought I'll get out here and enjoy the quiet ambiance and the cooler temperatures. And there is a little bit of a breeze here inside that woodlot where I was walking along the creek. The air is very still, so the mosquitoes are very active. And so I did have to zip up my bug shirt. but that's why I have it, just in case. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time out here at Lake Erie, where there's a nice breeze, and there's a roadway here. And what I'm going to do is I'll follow that until it gets me to the pathway that leads me back to that boardwalk, and then I'll head back to the trailer and hunker down with the air conditioning. So we went for a walk this afternoon. We'd been sitting inside since about 10 o'clock. I finished my hike this morning, and then I uploaded the videos and was doing a little bit of videography, editing, and things of that nature. Shannon was doing some of her artwork. And it's because it was the heat of the day, right? It got up to 39 degrees Celsius, including the humidex. But this is the site that we gave up. And I mean, as much as that's disappointing, because look at this incredible view. This is where we stayed the last time we were here. It was either this site or the next one. And it's a beautiful site, but the problem is no electricity. So we knew that with temperatures as high as they are, with nighttime temperatures sitting at about 29 degrees Celsius, that it wouldn't have been a very comfortable sleep. So we just have to walk to the areas where we want to be when we're looking at, being able to stay comfortable at night, but doing all the videoing during the day. So are you happy that we made the switch?
Oh yeah, sleeping at night is
paramount. Paramount. So,
yeah.
But anyway, that's okay. We're out stretching our legs. It's late afternoon right now, and we're going to bring you along for a walk. Yeah, so this is a very busy footbridge. It brings you to the beach when you are coming from the campsite and you're walking across and the beach over at Lake Erie. But this is where all kinds of interesting animal activity takes place. This is where I was this morning when I was videoing a lot of bird activity. So it feels a little bit toasty, but it's nice to get out and stretch our legs right now. And I don't have my bug gear on with the zippered bug shirt, and that's just because we're sticking to the roads basically while we're walking along right now. What I was doing this morning is I was going through the woods, and that's where it was very mosquito-y. So anyway, all right, well, we'll continue on our walk. So this morning we were just wrapping up our time. Shannon was just coming out and heading to the beach to take some photos, and I was just finishing up my hike. And she and I ran into each other here on the boardwalk, and there were two individuals that stopped us because they recognized us as having watched the YouTube channel. So I had a chance to meet Gilles, who is from Timmins. So he's camping here right now in Wheatley Provincial Park. And so I want to do a shout out to Gilles, and as well Mitch. Mitch had a chance to stop by, and he was shown the YouTube channel by a colleague. And the colleague is a person I went to university with, whose name is Lou. Lou, I would love to be able to, you know, reconnect with you. That was really interesting to find out how that all happened. So anyway, a shout out to Mitch and a shout out to Gilles. We really appreciate being stopped by individuals who are fans of the channel, so thank you so much. So we had a really great day yesterday where we went to Point Pelee, spent the day paddling all morning there in the Marsh Boardwalk area. And then we checked out the visitor center, had our lunch, and it looked like the skies were really quite threatening. So we left there before the rain started and went back to our trailer, for a short while, and then we went to Kingsville to see our good friends Mary and Maureen, who just purchased a house in Kingsville. So that was a really wonderful visit, and I'm out here again this morning, and this is a beautiful morning, a reprieve from the really hot temperatures. It's 21 degrees right now. I'm out here just a little after 7 o'clock, and I'm going to continue on my way to the footbridge that brings me over to Lake Erie and just see whatever wonderful sights present themselves along the way. So it's been a really exciting stay being here at Wheatley Provincial Park. We always look forward to our time here. We love Essex County, Kent County, and this is just where it feels like there's such great variety of wildlife. And we weren't expecting 40-degree temperatures, but I mean today is a real break from that. It's 21 degrees, feeling like 24 right now. So that is a wonderful change of events. So I strongly encourage anyone who is interested in exploring southwestern Ontario, including Point Pelee, Hillman Marsh, Jack Miner's Bird Sanctuary. Incidentally, that's where I got my first job related to my biology degree. That's in Kingsville. If you're interested in exploring those areas, Wheatley is an excellent place for you to camp if you're a camper. And the park is small enough that you can walk everywhere to all of the hiking trails. It allows you to put your canoe or your kayak in the water and be able to explore it that way. So anyway, at this point, yeah, I took off the upper part of my bug shirt so I could do this without it. But the mosquitoes have found me. Thank you so much for following our journey. If you like this video, please click like. I noticed that there's about 40 or 50% of the people who view the videos that are not subscribers. Hey, if you like the content, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind subscribing. That way it'll come up in your feed each week. I do a new upload every Tuesday morning. Take care. Bye for now.